Welcome to the 8th ever edition of the Geny METS podcast. Anilo Piro, Josh Einbinder here. Well, Mets are red hot right now, won 3 in a row, 3.5 game lead over the Nationals in first place. What were your takeaways from last night's win?
It's just another win. Now it's 3 in a row. They're up 3-0 against the Rockies in the series, and it's just another really impressive win. Yoenis Cespedes hit his first home run of the game. Jacob deGrom was on fire last night. It's just another solid overall win for this team. And, this team's really coming together. And the Rockies aren't very good, but the Mets are just one of those teams. They have that feeling now. They're really gelling together, and I really think they started to figure it out. And I think the ceiling is just getting higher from here.
And Carlos Gonzalez last night after the game called Jacob deGrom the best hitter, the best pitcher he's ever faced. So that, means a lot. We got Matt Harvey and Noah Syndergaard on our staff too, not just Jacob deGrom. So that should say a lot right there. Today, 12-10 game, it's Eddie Butler, Noah Syndergaard. What's your prediction for today's game? What are you looking for?
I think Noah Syndergaard is also going to come out today and dominate like he has in the past, especially now that they're at home. And, the Rockies aren't very good. And Eddie Butler's not a great pitcher, so I really looking for the Mets to tee off against him. I know the Mets aren't like an offensive caliber team. They're not huge, but they need to get, 4 or 5 runs against this guy, and Syndergaard will take care of the rest. So I definitely think they're going to go for the sweep today, and I think they'll get the sweep, which will be good because they got a tough series coming up against Pittsburgh.
And Yoenis Cespedes hit his first Met homer last night, first in the National League, and that arm sleeve was like the parakeet, the rally keet. Could that be a thing that we could see the rest of the season? I mean, Gary and Keith enjoyed it.
Yeah, we saw the rally raccoon earlier in the year. I don't know if you guys remember what that is, but that's what started the whole Wilmer Flores. It was way back then. That's when they got hot for the trade deadline. So the rally raccoon, and now they got the parakeet. So, maybe animals are just the answer for the Mets, but I don't know. Maybe we could see the parakeet from now on.
And tomorrow they'll start a series with Pittsburgh. We'll have Nice, Cologne, and of course Harvey on the mound during that series. Pittsburgh's been really, really good this season, especially since they swept us in early May in Pittsburgh. What are the keys going to be for us to come away with a series win? Because, Pittsburgh's an awesome team. They got McCutchen. They got Cole. Obviously, we're not going to face Cole. But we need to come away with a series win. And how can we do that against Pittsburgh?
Well, Pittsburgh's a really good team. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to be pretty hard for the Mets to get away with a series win, but it's definitely possible. If the fan base shows up, City Field's going to be rocking. I think Pittsburgh's not going to know what hit them if the fans can get really energized. The Mets are energized. Basically, what I look for is it's going to be your pitching. And it's going to be Nice coming out having a good outing. It's going to be Bartolo coming out having a good outing. It's going to be Harvey taking a good outing. And then from there, it's just going to be the bats. And the bats, they don't really score the first 4 or 5 innings. They score 6, 7, 8, 9. And they're going to start turning it on, I think, in like the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. Because if not, they might just bury themselves because the pitching's going to keep going. Don't just throw out every game. They have to get out of more early, especially and, it's going to be a very fun series to watch as just a fan of baseball and just a Mets fan. Because there's 2 of the best teams right now in a pennant race. Pittsburgh's in second behind St. Louis. We're in first. And, the key to victory is just going to be hit the ball. That's really what it's going to be. Because they play solid defense. Their pitchers are always lights out. It's basically hit the ball, and then you might have a little trouble in the back end of your bullpen if you bring in O'Flaherty, or sometimes Tyler Clippard might get a little shaky, Familia might get a little shaky. But for the most part, that bullpen's locked down, and basically the Mets have to hit the ball, and they'll win the game.
And let's talk about that. Eric O'Flaherty has not been good at all since he started with the Mets a couple days ago. Tyler Clippard's been pretty good. He hasn't had that many bad outings. Just Familia is just Familia. He can have a couple bad outings. But Eric O'Flaherty, you can't give up 4 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's a lefty specialist, I guess what they say, so I'm sure Terry Collins is going to use him that way. I think he's not even settled in this year at all. And, I'm not mad about the pickup because you just add a little more depth to your bullpen. I don't think he'll get outings, and maybe he'll build off that. But I'm confident he'll figure it out because the Mets really like having their lefty in their bullpen. And, what people don't remember is they got this guy off waivers, and he had like a 4 ERA.
Well, I mean, he's also coming off Tommy John surgery, too. So, you got to think, for him, when he was in his heyday in Atlanta, he was throwing 99, 98, and he was striking out guys left and right, and now, he's coming back. He's not coming back like Matt Harvey, who kind of dominated. It's going to take time for Eric O'Flaherty to get back to his form. So we might not see a real good Eric O'Flaherty till next year.
Yep, completely agree with that.
And moving on, David Wright, obviously, has played in 2 rehab games for the Port St. Lucie Mets. He went 1 for 3 each game, played a little third, played a little DH. Last night, got the night off. He's back tonight. Let's talk about what he said. He said he's not great, but he's feeling okay. Now, from a guy like that, you want him to be 100% when he comes back into the lineup. By him just saying okay, pretty much, doesn't give me the security that when he comes back, he's going to be, going 100% hard and trying to hit that ball and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think of it is probably a little awkward for him. I mean, he's playing down single A. Adam Rubin's down there, if you guys know who that is. He's covering David Wright intensely. And he hasn't played since April. So he's still probably just getting back in the groove of things. I mean, no one really expects to come out and go 3 for 3 with double and a home run in their first outing in single A in a rehab game. I mean, 1 for 3 is definitely a good start. I like to see that he's putting the bat on the ball. And then he made some nice plays at third. And, I really not thinking too, I think highly of what he was saying, but I think it's just him easing himself back in, taking baby steps, and getting back in the groove of things.
And David Wright, we're hearing we may see him back in just over or under 2 weeks. It depends how his rehab progresses. Steve Matz, do we have any updates on him?
So Steve Matz is going to throw, tentatively he's scheduled to throw on Saturday in St. Lucie. He's scheduled to throw like 25 pitches. But then Alverson's also come out saying that if there's any setbacks in his rehab, he'll be pulled from that start. And I think he's like a week and a half, 2 weeks away-ish. And the big thing that people need to understand is he didn't tear his lat. He tore part of his lat. And the thing that's big with that is you can't really rehab a lat like you can spinal stenosis in a way. Because spinal stenosis, you can work your core, you can do this and that. The lat, you just need to let heal, which is why he's been out for what seems forever. And now that he's on the rehab start, he's supposed to pitch 25 pitches Saturday, and then they'll pitch his full simulated game eventually after that, and then they'll probably get him in a real game, and then they'll probably send him back out.
And Steve Matz is going to be crucial in September and October. But here's my problem is, how many spot starts are we going to use? Remember in 2008, we used a lot of spot starts, and that probably cost us a spot in the playoffs. Do we really want to call up, Dylan G for a spot start if he's going to get pounded for 8 runs in a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess in a way. I'm not a big fan of spot starts. I understand what they're for, but I think if you're purposely having to use a spot start, that's not going to be very good. I'm not a huge fan of the 6-man rotation either. I mean, I understand where it's coming from because, like, if you want to limit Harvey's innings and you want to limit the young guns' innings, like, it makes sense. But then you're also messing up with, like, their agenda because they have to pitch every 6 days instead of 5. And I think it's going to be really interesting what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know why they're going to go back to a 6-man rotation, especially what they're doing now. Maybe you move Bartolo to the bullpen. I don't know. That's just an idea I could throw out there. And then put Matz in that slot. But, I guess we'll see how it plays out. This team isn't exactly the 08 team. It's a different build. I mean, I think the pitchers are better than were on the 08 team. So I look at them as still be successful no matter what they do. I'm just personally not a big fan of that 6-man rotation.
And the Mets now have a chance tonight to go 11 games over 500 for the first time since 2010. And you'd think 2010, that was a losing season. How do you go from 11 games over to under 500? But we'll see if they can do it tonight. Eddie Butler, Syndergaard. Moving on, Kevin Plawecki, demoted, AAA. He'll probably get some reps at first base and more playing time at catcher. Anthony Racker recalled. Was this a good move?
Yeah, it's a good move just because I think Plawecki's going to finish off his swing and polish himself up down in AAA. You'll see him back up September 1st, no doubt. And just because Travis d'Arnaud right now is the starting catcher is why that they're going to send him down because he won't be playing very much. You'll see Racker probably 2 or 3 times until September 1st. d'Arnaud will be behind the plate basically every day now. And I really like the move just because hopefully they'll do what they did with Travis d'Arnaud last year, and Travis d'Arnaud will go down, tear it up, come back up, still tear it up, and then maybe you'll see that with Plawecki. He'll get angry that he got sent down, improve himself, improve his stroke, come back up, and hit 300 for the rest of the season.
And that'll do it for the Geny METS podcast. We'll see you next time. Signing off.